Hey money friends, a new year is upon us and it is time to set new goals for the new year. Today I'm going to go over a few different financial goals that you might want to try in the new year to improve your life, because when you improve your finances, a lot of other things in life get a lot easier. Money isn't everything, but when you're struggling and stressing about money, it definitely affects your quality of life and it can make everything feel just so much harder. With all that said, let's get started and look at some of the goals that you might want to try in this new year.
Goal setting can be so fun, and the beginning of a new year is a wonderful time to set new goals and to set new things that you want to achieve in your life with the fresh new year and new start. This list of financial goals that you might want to achieve in the new year is a great starting off point if you're trying to set your goals and intentions for the new year. Some of these are going to be on my personal list for the new year and others I've done in the past. Okay, first money goal to try in the new year is to create a financial plan. Creating a financial plan is critical because it gives you a bigger, wider view than just the day-to-day spending and tracking that a lot of us can get bogged down with if we're budgeting. For a financial plan, you're going to look at all of your info, all of your financial info. So you're going to look at your assets, your liabilities, your debt, your plan for the future, your long-term goals. You're going to take a much wider view than just the day-to-day and month-to-month type of tracking that comes with making a financial plan for the month or a budget. You can do this alone or with a professional financial planner. It is just something that is going to guide your choices when you're making other decisions, and it's one of my goals for the new year. Next, we have save for emergencies. If you do not already have an emergency fund, especially if you're paying off debt right now, you need to rethink that strategy and start saving for an emergency fund. Unfortunately, 2020 taught us a lot of lessons about being prepared for things that we can't predict and being prepared for emergency situations like job losses or cutting back on income. Volatility of 2020 was a big lesson for me personally and a lot of us in the USA and around the world. Unfortunately, that means some people were caught unaware and did not have the saved money for emergency situations. And unfortunately, for some people paying off debt with no emergency fund, they had paid off all of this debt, but then needed money and there was no money. So it's a great idea to try to get 3 to 6 months of spending saved. That is spending, not income. And then you can start with $500 or $1,000 and work up from there. But I think based on the last year of what I've seen, this is better to do before you pay off debt, so you're not going back into debt when something arises that you weren't expecting. Next goal you might want to try in the new year is to create a budget, and specifically create a budget every time you have money coming in. So either a monthly budget or a paycheck budget, but having a budget that you use as a guideline to plan your spending and to hit all of these other goals. Because without a budget that you're following and tracking, without a plan for your spending, it's really a lot harder to hit every other financial goal. Your budget should be very goal focused so that you're achieving the things that you want to achieve. If you want to save for a house or if you want to pay down debt, your budget should be focused on that. And if you're new to budgeting, you can use budgeting tools and try out different methods until you find what fits for you, because there are so many different ways to budget and not every method works for every person. The next goal you might want to try is to pay off debt. This is one that I've been working on for the last couple of years, and sometimes if you have a lot of debt, it will take more than 1 year, but setting a goal to pay off debt in a new year is a great thing to try. Just like with budgeting, there are multiple ways to pay off debt, so there's multiple plans and methods. You can pick one and try that out. You can do the debt snowball, you can do a debt avalanche. There are multiple ways. Personally, I think you should pay off all high interest debt first and treat this like an emergency, because you're just getting into a bigger and bigger hole if you have very high interest debt. Setting this goal for the new year can be a very big goal or a very small goal. You might want to pay off one credit card in the new year, or you might want to work to pay off your mortgage. There are lots of options here. Next goal you might want to try is to save for retirement. This is a much longer term project than many of the others on here. So it might be part of your overall financial plan that you set in the first step or first thing you might want to try this year. So you can either start or increase your savings into retirement accounts. In the USA, that's going to be things like your 401k. And if you get a match in your 401k at work, you would always want to take advantage of that. That is free money and part of your compensation plan. So don't discount your employee match in your 401k. And if you're not currently getting it, make that your goal for the new year to always max it out. Use a retirement calculator to figure out how much you need to be saving every month for retirement. Next goal is to start investing overall beyond just retirement. This is one of those goals that might be for people further along in their financial journey who've done things like pay off all of their debt already, or who have wanted to do things like build wealth beyond just valuing being debt free. So for investing, you would want to work to build wealth and learn all the different options that you have. There are many, many, many ways to invest. There are different types of investments. There are different ways to purchase those investments. So this is one of those things that can involve a lot of education. The very basics are not that hard, but once you get into it, there's a lot to learn. But the big key here is that time and market. So the time you're investing matters so much. The earlier you can start investing, the better. Next goal you might want to try in the new year is to save for and purchase a home. I love when people set this money goal for a new year because it is more than just a money goal. It is a lifestyle goal. It is a huge goal for a lot of people in ways beyond just the financial aspect, but it's also such a huge financial situation that it's always going to be a money goal. It also might be a longer term goal. It might take you more than just 1 year to save up for a down payment and find the right home. You'll also have to work on your credit too to make this happen. So there's a lot that goes into buying a home. I have a lot of first-time home buyer videos that can help with this, but I recommend, if this is your goal, just to start a sinking fund and start putting money in that account. Next goal you might want to try for the new year is to start a side hustle. I love side hustles. I love when people are starting new things and trying to earn more money beyond just their regular day job. It is something that I do personally and I have a huge passion for. This is a great one to combine with any other financial goal you try in a new year, because making more money makes all of your other goals just a lot easier to achieve. It's not always the most popular thing to say, but having more money makes everything related to financial goals easier. The great thing about side hustles is that the internet has made so much more possible. There are so many possibilities. There are ways to make money online. There are ways to take offline side hustles online, like dog sitting. You can book clients through rover.com. There are so many things that you can do. So pick something based on your skills, the time you have available, and your interest level. The next goal on the list that you might want to try only applies if you have kids, but if you do, you might want to start saving for your kids' future. This is a goal that I am personally going to be doing in the new year because we have a new child on the way, and it's something that I want to increase because I never want my kids to have to go through the financial struggles that I've been through. So for this, you can save for specific goals, like for their college fund, for their future car, for any future expense. The small amounts add up, especially if you're starting when they're very, very young. There are also many different ways to save. There are many different account types, from 529 plans to save for college, all the way up to just custodial accounts for your children for the long-term future. There's a ton of different ways to do all of these, so you're going to want to take time to learn about everything. The final goal that I recommend and want to really do for myself in the new year is to invest in yourself. I think this is just as important as setting financial goals with numbers and all of these other categories. So find some way to invest in yourself, whether that's education, taking a course, trying to learn something new, picking up a new skill, or investing in your own health. Your longevity will depend on that, or investing in your business. There's a lot of ways you can do this, from very cheap, like buying a book or watching YouTube videos, or buying a course or taking a college level class. Just remember that knowledge is power, and investing in yourself really does add up to a brighter future. Those are my ideas for goals to try in the new year financially, and here are a few tips that I have picked up over the last couple of years of setting financial goals and achieving them. So set specific goals. Give your goals a number. Make sure that you know specifically how they will be measured, because if it's not measurable, you'll never know if you're actually hitting it. Give yourself a due date. Often for a yearly goal, it will be, of course, the end of the year, but having due dates really helps. Then write them down. Writing down your goals makes them so much more likely to be achieved, and that has been proven in like a lot of different studies. And make sure you're tracking your progress. I find that this keeps me accountable and makes me really more likely to achieve something. It also makes you check in. So does breaking your bigger goal into smaller goals. So you're not setting a goal in January and then completely forgetting it until November, December when you realize you have no chance. Additionally, the last tip is to be accountable. I do this through my Transfer Tuesday videos, but you can find a way to do it in your own life.